more details, we have over the phone Ambassador Wafaa Bassim, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. So if I'm talking about the significance of this important meeting that took place during this critical of time, and also the talking about the two-state solution as the only solution for the current situation for the genocide war in Gaza, how do you see it? Hello?
As we can see, President Sisi and representing the importance and focal role of Egypt in finding a right and just and permanent solution for the Palestinian question based on all resolutions issued by international organizations, whether the Security Council, whether the General Assembly, the latest of which was on the Security Council to halt the military operations in Gaza and to allow for humanitarian assistance to go into the Gaza and particularly in Rafah, where it is requested to stop any military operation. On the other hand, we can see that the General Assembly has issued a resolution asking for the recognition of Palestine as a full-fledged state member of the organization and not only an observer. To achieve these two goals, President Sisi is doing all the efforts possible to mobilize the international community in order to achieve these two goals and to implement these two resolutions. Here comes the importance of this bilateral visit to China, which is a state visit. That means it's the height of its kind between the two countries. And one of the issues that were discussed at the level of the summit was this situation in Gaza and in the region in general. We consider that important to have a solution based on the two states living side by side while respecting the right to self-determination and to an independent Palestinian state. President El-Sisi, with his Chinese counterpart, have stressed on the importance of immediately stopping the atrocities that are taking place and that are costing thousands of lives in almost every day. We have seen the latest of which was the attack on that shelter in Rafah, where hundreds of people were killed and wounded. This is the two states, China and Egypt, are seeing eye to eye to this point. They are also requesting an important step, an immediate step to allow for a certain calm so can the efforts to negotiations can be resumed. Also, Egypt is part of the moderators and facilitators of negotiations as far as the Palestinian prisoners and the hostages to be exchanged as soon as possible, and all humanitarian assistance to be entered into Gaza. This was again repeated in the inauguration this very early this morning of the Arab-Chinese Forum in its 10th chapter at the level of the ministers, and where Arab leaders were attending, such as besides Egypt, we had Al-Bahrain, we had United Arab Emirates, and we had also Qatar. It's a great opportunity for these leaders, Arab leaders, taking into account the role to discuss with the Chinese counterparts how to achieve these, that important goal concerning Palestine. There are also issues concerning cooperation and explanation of other important issues, such as the right of Egypt for full control and full benefit of water resources, and the clarification that President Sisi has presented concerning our talks and endeavors with Ethiopia, so we can reach an agreement that would allow for a just use of Egypt of the Nile water.
Well, many files actually were discussed, but actually talking more about the current situation in Palestine, and how did both states deal or tackle the issue of the Israeli incursions, or recent incursions in particular, in the Palestinian Rafah?
That recent incursion, as Egypt has very much warned, would lead at the end of the road, and if repeated and not halted right away, would lead to almost a disaster in the whole region as far as peace, security, stability, national security concerns of many states in the region. This has been well amplified and clarified in the joint declaration issued by the two leaders of Egypt and China, and expected also to be included at the final declaration of the forum, of the Chinese Arab Forum that is taking place today in Beijing.
Well, the forum aims to deepen a consensus between China and Arab countries. So can we focus on the measures adopted to reach this goal?
We have many measures that were adopted at the international level and accepted by the huge majority of states. Let's not, the last of which, for instance, is the new or renewed measures declared by the International Court of Justice that are really summarizing all the will and the concern of the international community. That means to hold the operations right away in Rafah, to allow for the passage of the humanitarian assistance under international control, to allow the humanitarian organizations to save all those people at different levels. From famine, the state of the health in Rafah and in Gaza in general, to ask the Israeli part to present a report on how it's implementing these latest measures, and to call for an investigation by international investigators on whether the crime of genocide has been committed in Gaza and in Rafah against Palestinian people.
Well, during the speech delivered by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, he talked about important issues, and of course, one of the first points to be discussed, talking about again the recognition of independent Palestine, and that the international community must work more on this, especially when it comes to this form, the independent state. And we have seen many of the countries actually that started recognizing Palestine as an independent state. I think this is very, very important. How do you see this point in particular if we raised the number of countries, especially if we are talking about major powers, to work and talk about independent state?
We have seen already the declaration by Norway, by Ireland, by Spain, and this is following another number of declaration of recognition of the Palestinian state, and some of them will be very soon establishing and exchanging diplomatic missions with Ramallah. This is, let's say, a very courageous and valuable position, very much appreciated and hailed by not the Arab world only, but the international community, and also the consideration, if not yet declared, but consideration of other important states for the recognition of independent Palestine following the resolution by the General Assembly. I think we are paving the way of more and more states recognizing Palestine as an independent state, and very soon. What we need now as Arabs and all states believing in Palestine and its just cause, what we need now is to mobilize all efforts to encourage more space for this recognition, which would represent a real pressure on the Israeli side, especially if it comes from what we would call friends or allies of Israel. So a lot of work is ahead before us to continue that trend and to make it reach to a huge number or a big number of states recognizing the...
Right, Ambassador Wafaa Bassim, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you very much for joining us. And moving on to a quick break, then